Welcome to the Bait Boys podcast, the podcast where we talk about bait making and taking down big tackle, one garage-built lure at a time. My name is Jesse with Freek Baits Custom Fishing Lures, and I am joined by my co-hosts today, Trevor from Peak Baits and Anthony from Lazy Baits Co. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Hey, what's up? I'm good.
Good.
Exhausted.
Yeah, you've got a busy life, man. That's I can't blame you for that. What a lot of people don't know is that this is actually the first time that the three of us have ever talked, like, directly. I know you two have hung out before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I've never actually spoken with my voice to either one of you, so this is gonna be a fun time. Our group chat had some pretty good stuff in there, though, so I think that we're gonna be okay.
I think we gotta keep the group chat content off of here, though.
Yeah.
Sticking to PG-13.
Well, the fact that our Instagram got banned as soon as we created it.
Bad sign.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But hey, it's back up now. So, by the way, everybody, follow us on Instagram if you're not already at Bait Boys Podcast. Shameless plug. So, real quick, this is our first episode ever. So, is everybody cool with us just kind of introducing ourselves, talking a little bit about what we do, how we do it, things like that in general? Keep it simple for the first one.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So,
yeah, I'm down to be awkward.
Yeah, you're the best at that, Anthony. So yeah, let's go around the horn here and just kind of introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your business, and yeah, we'll go from there. Who wants to go first? Not me, not it.
Anthony.
Yeah, there you
go. My name's Anthony. I own Lazy Baits Co. and LB Co. Designs. I design lures. I make molds for them. I make too many bait designs to the point where I don't ever get to make any baits, so it's a lot of fun, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the process of just designing a bait and working with other bait makers, and that's why I think this podcast is going to be awesome.
Sweet. Go ahead, Trevor.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
You go first.
I'll go first. My name's Jesse. Oh, what? Huh? What?
I forgot the question.
Oh, we're just yeah. It's been a long day, man. I get it. Yeah, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business. But if you need a second, I'll go first if you want me to.
Please.
Absolutely. My name's Jesse, owner of Freek Baits Custom Fishing Lures, and I specialize in one-off hand-carved wooden lures of all types, and yeah, like Anthony said, to echo that, I met these guys through the community, and really, it's cool to meet other people in the space. And Anthony and I have worked on a couple of things together, and I know I still owe him some baits painted, but we'll get there eventually.
I'm not worried.
But yeah, I have a day job, and then my night job is coming out in here to my garage and being a glorified whittler.
It's all right. You're good at it. You're definitely good at it.
I try.
That's a talent in itself, carving wood.
Yes. I can't do it at all.
You know, I appreciate that. It's I've got big dumb hands, and I took that 23andMe test, and they told me that I had more Neanderthal DNA than 98% of other people who took it. So I guess I'm doing the best with what I got. So, but I appreciate it.
All right, so now it's my turn.
It's your turn. Go for it.
All right, I'm Trevor from Peak Baits. I make custom painted lures, resin. I make soft plastics. I'm a tattoo artist. I think that's it for now for me.
Yeah, look at that work.
Yeah. That drained me right there. Oh, that drained me right there. Sorry.
It's all right. I'm sure it's going to be the first of many.
Yeah, it might happen. Might happen a few times. That's okay. No big deal. Yeah, you did Anthony's. You've done a few things, a few of Anthony's pieces, right? Or just the one?
Oh yeah, I did.
At this point, it's like
the whole arm.
Whole arm.
Yeah.
Not this.
whole bunch of stuff.
Well, if we're ever in the same area, I've got a really crappy one on my bicep that I need covered up. So I may hit you up for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you do good
It'd be
work.
an honor.
You do good work. Speaking of which, I know that we're all kind of, you guys are both in the Northeast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anthony, you're in Pennsylvania. Trevor, where are you?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. Yeah. I'm down here in hillbilly land. I live in Missouri, southern Missouri, real close to Arkansas. I'm about 30 minutes from Arkansas. So it's a little different world down here, I'm sure.
I remember you saying that when you want to go test a bait or go fishing, it's like you got to travel.
Yeah, I've got all the ponds around here are private. There's a few like river accesses that are public, but they're always just constantly packed with people. So my only option is if I want to actually go out and fish in general, I have to load up the boat, drive 45 minutes to an hour in either direction, north or south, to get to either Table Rock Lake south of me or Lake of the Ozarks north of me. And it's a big pain in the butt, and I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. You know, you got to get out there. And
Absolutely.
Is that like a southern thing? Because I went to Texas, and everyone's, preaching how good Texas fishing is. And I had to, maybe it's because Texas is huge. I had to drive like 45 minutes just to find a body of water I could actually get to. Like you said, everything is private.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how the Texas, like I've seen YouTubers in Texas being like, man, we're just going to go around and fish public ponds. And it's like, they're all over the place. I'm like, what, where, how? I know it's like that in Florida. Yeah. I've been to Florida. I fished in Florida. You can fish in pretty much any water hole you want to, as long as it's not like on somebody's property. And yeah, there's plenty of places to fish in Florida, which is cool because I go down there a few times a year. But yeah, Texas, the last time I went to Texas twice last month for work, and I took my little travel bait caster with me and could not find a place within a reasonable driving distance to actually go out and bank fish. So it wasn't even worth it.
For me.
Bought a fishing license and everything, didn't even get to use it.
And it's not cheap.
No, it's not. Non-resident fishing licenses aren't. Yeah.
No, they're not.
They like that money.
Trevor knows he has to buy one a year.
Buy a couple.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Yeah, you guys have fished together a few times, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day something will line up. We'll all, sponsor a tournament together and end up in the same place at the same time. I can come up there. It's fine. I can come up there.
Why not?
Yeah. So let's move on to the next question I got here for you guys. We're going to start back at the beginning with what got you into fishing. Was it just something you're like, I want to try that, or is it a family thing, or what? Tell me about it, Anthony. Why don't you go ahead and go first? You did such a good job the last time.
My wife, she got me into fishing, and I'm not sure how happy she is that she did, because when we met, I was a gamer, so was she. We played like Xbox, Destiny together, and we have a small little lake by our house, and she's like, why don't we go try fishing? And I'm like, I don't like fishing. I'm not even interested, really. And then, we got some poles, went fishing, and that's it. She kind of screwed herself, because now I'm obsessed.
Yeah, but she can't complain about it, right? It was her fault.
Yeah, she
That's
can't
right.
complain. No, she doesn't complain.
Does she still like fishing?
Not too much. Yeah, she doesn't get to as much because, I probably do it too much, and she has to take care of things around the house, but she does when we get to go. I go every day.
I'm jealous.
She'll go when it's nice.
Yeah, I see you post every day, like just pulling bass out of a pond, man. I'm super jealous.
It's like 5 minutes down the road. So on the way home, I pull in, make one little lap, and then I come home and take care of home stuff. But that's my therapy after dealing with humans all day.
Right, I get it. What about you, Trevor?
What got me into fishing? When I was a kid, I used to do fishing derbies. Like my father and my uncle used to take me, and then I started once I was a little older, like in my teens. Started just fishing on my own and never stopped.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, my I started fishing like I there's a picture of me holding a bass when I maybe 4. That I caught off my little Fisher Price pole because we had just a little farm pond um, in the place where I grew up that we would go to pretty much every day. My dad was super into fishing, and then when I got a little older, I just lost interest altogether and quit for probably 10 or 15 years. Um, but then right before COVID hit, I was like, and my dad passed away in 2011, and I kind of wanted to make sure that I kind of it sounds corny, but like legacy of some sort, right? Like something
No,
that
no.
that he passed on to me. So yeah, I'd say probably about 2018. So I know that's a long time between whenever he died and whenever I was like, oh yeah, let's do this.
You
So
considered it for a while.
yeah, I considered it for a while. About 2018, I was like, forget it, let's try it, man. Let's get back out there. I had no idea what I was doing. I was still thinking like, night crawlers and a bobber, like I was 6 years old again. And it grew from there. So I immediately got addicted to it. Spent way too much money on fishing gear, as I'm sure you two can
Let's not
relate.
even address that.
Let's not even talk about that. Our wives might
I
be
don't
watching
spend
this.
anything now.
No, yeah, honey. If you're watching this, I've spent maybe $60 in total
And
since
everything
then.
was on sale.
Everything was on
4
sale.
to $8.
I got given a lot of stuff, like just nice people giving it to me. Yeah, yeah, that all went out the window when I bought a boat. So that's whenever she realized, wait a minute, this isn't. How much are you spending on this? It's not important. It's not important. Yeah. So on that same topic, let's move on to bait making because that's what we're here to talk about, right? That's our common connection between the three of us here. So what got you into bait making? Like what made you take that step in? Okay, I like fishing. Now I want to make my own baits. Let's just keep the order. I like the order. Let's it's left to right on my screen, so it works perfectly.
So, me and my wife both lost our jobs during COVID. Same day, lost our jobs.
Damn.
I got into woodworking like a million other people probably did at that time, and they had nothing else to do during COVID, and you know, so I was doing woodworking, but it started to like really feel like work, which I wasn't. It lost its enjoyment. So I got a job again, but I still need to tinker with something. So I started taking the wood that I had and making these really awful little swim baits. Like the first one I made looked terrible, but it caught me 2 fish the first time I took it out, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. Just taking some lump of 2x4 in the corner and twisting up some wire and making it into something that catches a fish, and from there I was hooked.
Pun
So
intended.
I spent a while making. Yeah, I was hooked. Intended. So I spent a while making wooden lures, and then I realized maybe there's potential to do it, like making 3D models of them, and then I don't want to get too into that, but that's how it got started.
Get into it, man. I don't care. That's what we're here for.
No, that I'll just keep talking. It started with woodworking. That's it.
Yeah.
Just I don't have the skills to carve like you do. I actually.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. I always say that. I always tell you that. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise.
I don't believe that.
No, well,
I can't. But I CNC'd my first like nice wooden rat, and it was like a piece of poplar, and I modeled it so it was 2 halves, front and rear, and then the halves, and glued it together, and I was like, this is sick. And then I started like modeling them and getting into resin, and that's a topic for another not intro video.
yeah. Well, we'll definitely get into that. I want to, because I'm a wood guy and you guys are resin guys, so we're gonna have to do some comparing and contrasting to that as far as that goes. But no, that's cool. What about you, Trevor?
How did I get into it? Um, I've always been into art and fishing, so I guess being able to take both and put them together and just do something that shows both of my passions in one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, damn, they get expensive, you know. So
Yes.
you're gonna hear a lot of backlash sounds here, or drag peeling. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've always been into fishing. I've always enjoyed it, and you know, I like the challenge. So one day I decided to just go for it.
Yeah.
I think it's funny you say that they're expensive, and it's like, wow, some of these swim baits, they're like, $100, $200. Like, I'll just make my own, and then you end up spending like 400, 600 just making your own. You're like, well, maybe I should have just bought one.
Right? Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. So I probably around the same time, or maybe a little after I started fishing, I was looking up fishing videos on YouTube, right? Like just constantly trying to figure it out, trying to learn, because I knew nothing about bass fishing at that point in time. We had a bluegill and catfish pond that I grew up on, and I caught a bass every once in a while if I was lucky, but I was trying to get bluegill and catfish. But the one day I was looking through videos, and it came up, and it was just this beautiful crankbait in the thumbnail. And as everybody probably knows by now, I am an unapologetic Nate Marling fanboy. So his Marling Baits video is the first one I ever saw, and just watching the whole process, and I was like, okay, I have to watch the rest of his videos now, back to the entire catalog. And that took me about 2 years to watch the rest of his videos, because I didn't try to make a bait. I was just fascinated by the process. I just thought it was really cool to watch. And he makes it look so easy. I'm like, one day I finally just decided I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. And needless to say, it didn't turn out well. Kind of like your story about your first swim bait there. It was real ugly. I made a crankbait that sunk real fast, and I painted it with paintbrushes and Walmart paint, and covered it with some 5-minute epoxy, and it was terrible. I maybe cast it twice, 3 times, just because it was bad. I still have it. I keep it as a reminder of where it came from. But as soon as I was done with it, that was October of 23. So we're talking like 2019 to 2023. So like 3 years. October of 23 when I made that. And as soon as I was done, I was like, okay, that was an awful experience. I hated how it turned out. Let's do it again. So I immediately made another one, and it was a topwater popper, and it worked kind of, and it just progressed from there. And I figured out that I had I just really enjoyed doing it. Like despite all like, it's super stressful. I carving and getting things right and trying to tune everything perfectly it's such a stressful endeavor, but I like it. And I don't know if that's like masochistic or whatever, but psychotic, maybe, possibly, who knows? But yeah, I just have kept doing it, and every bait I feel like gets better, but I feel like I can, every bait I make, I'm like, I can also do better. So I just keep making them, and keep stressing myself out, and keep cutting myself, and dropping stuff that's almost done but covered in clear coat. How many times have you done that? Like, it's covered in wet clear coat. You drop it on your shop floor, and it's just
into the UV box.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Can't even wipe that off. Yeah.
Yep, that's good.
Can't even wipe that off and start over. That's but yeah, it's been a little over, so close to a year and a half now since I made the first one. And my kids got me for Father's Day last year. They got me the Marling Baits Fish with Your Masterpiece masterclass course thing. And that was a game changer for me. That I learned a ton from that. So if anybody's out there, hashtag not sponsored, but like it was, if anybody's out there that's doing wooden baits or even just painting stuff, like it's legit. Like it's worth every penny of it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fanboy. Like it actually helped. But yeah. So I know that. Okay, so I started in late 2023. Anthony, you said you started during COVID?
Yeah, it's probably like 2021, 2020.
Yeah. What about you, Trevor? I don't remember when you said you started.
October 23.
So around okay, around the same time I did. Yeah. So that's cool. This is a funny one because I just talked about how stressful it is for me. Like, why do you still do it? Why'd you stick with it? Like we've all been in it for at least over a year now. Why do you still put yourself through the pain?
That's funny. That's funny. That was the next question because I was going to ask you, do you feel like all the issues you run into and learning new stuff along the way and the problem solving, is that like what keeps you going? Because I feel like for me, that's what is the fun part. Like, it's frustrating, but it's also fun. Like, wow, that bait didn't work because my hinge was a little, like it was hitting the screw instead of the body. And then you tweak it and learn, like, oh, well, now I can use this for my next bait. Like, it's always learning something new. And I feel like that's what keeps me, like, intrigued. I can constantly tinker and never be like, well, I got it figured out. I'm the master.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I
feel like I'm always an idiot.
Yeah.
There's always something I'm doing wrong and always something to learn. And that is the fun part to me.
It's fair. I can see that. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. But yeah, go ahead, Trevor.
I can agree with that. I like the challenge every day. Like we talked the other day. It's something I could do one thing 100 times, and I'll get a little bit better every single time. And and sometimes it's such an easy fix to figure out what the problem was, but it's the obstacles, the challenges, and then the sense of accomplishment at the end. Like, I didn't give in. There were times I wanted to bang my head on the floor constantly, but I
been there.
I think it's what keeps me doing it is that sense of, you got to figure it out. There are no instructions really. You can't get much help. You know what I mean? Well, you can from the internet, but it's.
Does that really help though?
No.
Does that really help? Yeah.
Not at all.
No, I would agree.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I would agree. And what I did mention earlier is I also dabbled in woodworking before bait making, which I know, Anthony, you're a big John Malecki fan. I still watch John Malecki, even though I've not made a woodworking project
every weekend.
Yeah, but my wife calls me a serial hobbyist because I've had many, many different hobbies, from woodworking to knife making to what else have I can't even name them all. There's been but also the things I still do, like fishing, and like I played golf for a little bit. So that do not recommend. Do not recommend. Talk about stressful and being terrible at something and never getting any better at it. No matter how much you play or practice, never, ever got any better at it. I think with bait making, even though like my first attempt was just a complete failure, I think you're both onto something with it's the challenge of it, and then being able to figure out and problem solve and think critically about, like, why is this not working, or why does this look stupid, or why is it not doing what I want it to do, and being able to make those adjustments on the fly, or as you move into the next bait or whatever it is. It's very mentally engaging. not, I mean, it's physically engaging too, because if you're sitting there like this, carving on something for an hour or painting something, like trying to get it right. And then don't even get me started on clear coat. Like I wrestled with clear coat up until recently, and I still have problems with it.
Yep,
But
me too.
it's
And then Trevor saved my life.
oh yeah,
Yes.
No, I can't even
Yes,
save
he
mine.
which and it makes honestly, it's funny, Trevor, because it's like your day job. There's like it's much higher stakes if you screw something up. like
Oh yeah,
like you're working with people's skin there, and that's
that's a comfort.
yeah.
I believe that with her. I've seen him tattooing.
Yeah.
He's comfortable.
So I mean, yeah, it's probably bait making, which it may be, but it doesn't sound like it's as, to me, it's not as stressful as a hobby or a profession as a tattoo artist. So maybe there's some relief there. I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, I was very stressed out and nervous, like, at first, because you get that one good shot to do it correct.
Mm-hmm.
There is no second chance. There is no I can erase. And then, I don't know, you just gotta. I've been doing it a long time, so I think I just eventually grew out of the nerves and just came into my own comfort.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does relate to bait making in a way for me, because like the more you do it, the more confident you get in it, and the better you feel about it. And whenever you're starting a project, the more confident you are that you're going to complete it successfully. Right. So that makes sense. I just couldn't imagine like practicing on people's skin. Like like if I screw up a bait, it's whatever. I throw it in the pile of misfit baits, but and try to mess with it later. But the whole, I nothing but respect for tattoo artists, because I would not be able to do that.
Thank you. There's no real rules. You just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
Like
you
I
go
feel
ahead.
like it probably hasn't been like that the whole time, Trevor. Like, you've been doing it a while. I'm sure at first there were times where you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off. Like, now watching you tattoo, I feel like your process, from start to finish, how it's gonna go.
Well, there's been plenty of times.
And that's comfortable. But I'm sure at first it wasn't like that.
Listen, I could tell you stories that I've been up a creek with no paddle, and yeah, we'll leave those in the past.
Yeah, just move on. Yeah. Just move on. No sense. No sense talking about that.
PTSD 20 years later.
Yeah. So let me ask this question. It's a two-part question. I want to know, what is your favorite part about bait making, and what is your least favorite part? 1, 2, 3, go.
Favorite. I'd say one of my favorite part is probably catching a fish on the bait, or getting pictures from people that caught fish. And it's like, I look at it and I'm like, that was in my basement. Like, that was nothing. It was just powder and liquid, and now it's like somebody out on the other side of the country caught a fish on it. And to me, like, in my brain, that's like the coolest thing in the world. Like, I played a small little part. They could have used any lure, but they used something that I made, and that's, I don't know, I enjoy that. The worst part, jeez, I don't know. There's not enough time in the day, ever.
Amen to that.
It's exhausting. There's so much I want to get done, and it's like, I just don't have the time, and that gets frustrating, because I'm like 90% of the way done with, I mean, it's my own fault, but it'll be 90% of 10 different things, and it's like, I just need another hour to get this done, and I don't have it.
Yeah, I get that. There's no, that, especially when you're working a day job and you're trying to do this on the side, it's like, man, if only it paid better.
Yeah, I would say that's probably 98% of the people that make baits. We all have day jobs. We all do this because we love it. Like, it's not for the money.
It's not for the money.
It's not we'd be homeless here. Like, I really haven't made much money making baits at all. So, but we stick to it because it's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And like
It's a passion.
When you see people that have stuck to it, it's because they are truly passionate. Exactly, Trevor. They enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Trevor? What are your favorite and least favorite parts?
My favorite parts would be, the seeing the finished product, and then like Anthony said, when you catch your fish on it, the first fish on your first completed bait, or other people, it's a natural high in itself, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because you put your blood and sweat and tears into that, and there were, for myself, many times where some baits that are catching fish right now, I didn't want to finish, didn't want to work through the whole process, but I'm glad today I did. So, and then my least favorite, definitely not enough time. Like, no matter how much sleep I'll lose or how early I get up, there's just not enough time.
Yeah, I agree with both of you on both of those points because you both kind of said the same thing, but that's fine. That's totally cool. It makes sense. It tracks. I have no problem with that. I definitely agree with those, but I will say that my favorite part of it is the design process, like drawing it up. My favorite part is like putting that idea on paper first, right? Because that's whenever you can make all your revisions. That's whenever you have full control of the situation and that you can make exactly what you want on that paper. Now it gets a little complicated whenever you try to put it on a block of wood, and things can go sideways whenever you get into that. But carving's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. It's rewarding whenever you're knocking those corners off of that block for the first time. Like that's my favorite part of carving, is just that first cut on the corner with that. And I use a box cutter. I don't use anything special. I use a box cutter. If it's really fine work, I use an X-Acto knife. So nothing crazy. And I would say that my least favorite part is clear coat, but it's also the part that like pulls it all together. Like you guys are saying, that finished bait after it's done, like you have to get through that step. And so for me, it's like when I'm first putting the clear coat on, I'm like, oh, this is going to look sick. And then I'm like, why is that? I just brushed over that part. Like, why is it bald now? Like where are all these spots coming from? Why bubbles? Like, why are there bubbles coming out from behind the eyes? That happens to me all the time. And I like, it just gets so infuriating when I'm trying to get a good clear coat on something and get it solid. And I have probably, I can see just where I'm sitting 4 different baits where I screwed up the clear coat. And so I didn't even finish them. Like it's like I put them aside because like one day I'll just get it good enough to fish and I'll use it, but I won't try to sell it or anything or give it away or do anything with it other than just fish it with myself. But I just get moving on to the next one because I want to make it better and want to continue to, like Anthony said earlier, it's like I think it's a good thing to think you're an idiot when it comes to this stuff and that you have more to learn and that you can continue to get better. I think the people that get stuck, they're like, man, I'm good at this, I'm just going to ride that wave. They're the ones that get left behind, and they fall out of relevancy because they got content with where they were in their skill set. I think no matter how good you get, you can always get better. So I always try to keep that mentality, and it's kind of self-deprecating. It's kind of like some people would say it's not good for your mental health, but who cares? Who cares? I'm going to beat myself up constantly anyway. But no, it's definitely, it's a bittersweet, passion to have, because it can definitely be rewarding, but it can definitely kick you in the teeth. And sometimes, both in the same hour. So it's and in any order, but yeah. So
I forgot about clear coat. I feel like that's every bait maker's, like, I don't know what the word is, but
yeah,
it's where you can really start getting frustrated.
Yeah, it's like, definitely my Achilles heel.
The last step You spent all this time carving or whatever, painting, and then you go to put clear coat on and whatever your process is, and then you pull it out and you're like, is that a fisheye? Is that a gigantic fisheye on the side of this bait?
How did I miss that? How did I miss that before I put in the UV tank? Like, how did it happens all the time.
Well, it wasn't there usually, and that's the thing.
There's just some random air bubble just comes out of it, which is wood's bad about that. Wood is so bad about that. That's like with the resin baits that I've messed with, that it's not as bad whenever it comes to that stuff. I have found that, like, if you don't let resin cure fully, like I don't know about you guys, but I run into trouble with it if I pour a bait and then wait an hour and then try to immediately start painting it. The clear coat never ends up right for me, which maybe you guys have. I told Anthony I've got this 3-day process for my whole thing, and it's because I was having so much trouble with clear coat.
Steps.
I was having so much trouble with clear coat. I added like 12 precautionary steps into my process at once, and then it worked. And then I'm like, I don't know what fixed it, so I'm just going to keep doing all of it. So it takes me forever to get a bait. Like, once I get past the carving stage and get to the the painting and clear coating stage, it takes forever because I'm like, okay, I got to spray it down with mid coat and let it sit for 24 hours. Like, just because that's what worked. That's what happened.
Yep.
That's what worked. And I'm like, okay. And I also have to, it's a whole long process. It's legitimately like 30 steps, and I don't like. There's 12
put it on the screen.
Yeah,
and it just scrolls by.
I'll throw it up there. Yeah, but and I don't know which one. Like, I'm sure 11 of those 12 steps I added in there are unnecessary. It was one thing that probably fixed it. I don't know what it was, and I'm not willing to risk it to try to like take things out and see where it breaks. I'm just like, I got too much stuff to do, and there's not enough time. Like you guys said, there's not enough time in the day. I got too many baits I want to make. I got a whole stack of drawings that I've made that I want to make baits out of, and I'm sure you guys do too, or ideas, or however you organize that stuff. But it's like I don't have time to mess with that, so I guess I'm just going to spend 3 days painting bait, painting one bait. Yeah, but I think this is a good time for us to. I don't know how this happened, but we've not even posted an episode yet. This is our first episode ever, and we already have a sponsor. So it's time for a word from our sponsor.
Lake Lax, the only bait-infused supplement. You ever try to skip a jig while also skipping a bathroom break? Not anymore. Introducing Lake Lax, the revolutionary, fiber-packed fishing chewable that keeps your guts regular without cutting your trip short. Infused with real craw flavor, micro-crushed tungsten for weight retention, the calming scent of outboard exhaust. Whether you're stuck in a kayak, deep in a john boat, or guarding your honey hole for 9 straight hours, Lake Lax keeps things flowing so you don't have to go until you're ready. Lake Lax, reel 'em in, nothing gets out.
But okay, that was interesting. Great job on that ad read. I really feel like you connected with the product there. So, congratulations. Keeps it at hand.
Yep, all times.
Well, thank you to Lake Lax for sponsoring this video.
Lax.
Didn't even know it was a thing. I'm gonna have to get me some. Did we get a discount on that?
No.
No. Okay. Well, fair enough. What did we get? Did we get anything for that?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
I got this.
Did they even ask us to do that, or did you just do it on your own?
So. Yeah, no, it's something I use.
Do you mix it in like water, or what is it?
Straight crawfish citrus. Yeah.
You just dry scoop it like pre-workout. Yep. Cool. Nice.
420. Nice.
Well, fellas, I know I already kind of talked about my biggest influence, which is Marlin Bates. Again, unapologetic fanboy. But I want to hear about your influences, like who inspires you, and it doesn't have to be another lure maker or painter. It can be anybody. It doesn't have to be an artist. But like, what's your inspiration whenever you're sitting down with a blank and getting ready to lay some paint down? Like who's guiding that hand?
What I do for paint, I I'll just Google like reference pictures of things, or mostly just like a natural look or whatever. Design wise, I don't know. I've watched Marlon Bates since the beginning. WM Bayou Lures, I think, is his YouTube channel. He does like all the 3D modeling and 3D printing, and dude, that guy, in the beginning when I was getting started of like actually modeling baits, every question I had, he had a simple video for, and it was like, that's awesome. I don't know. There's so many good bait makers that are, an inspiration when you look at their stuff, but you also don't want to copy their stuff. So it's kind of like you try to fine line, you try to be inspired by it, but you also don't want the community to be like, that's a KGB knockoff. And you're like, damn, dude, it's just a shad shape. Like, I don't know. How many different shapes can I make of a fish to where it's not somebody's knockoff?
I get it.
But yeah, I don't know. I find a lot of people on Instagram that are just like making cool stuff, and I don't know. I think everyone in the community is a little bit of an inspiration.
That's cool. That's cool. Trevor, what about you?
Yeah, I don't, that's a great question. I don't have a good answer, to be honest. I got to give it some thought. I usually just pick some colors, and that's it.
You're your own inspiration. Yep. You're already an artist, so it's.
I'm not gonna say that, but like I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna pick 3 colors. What am I gonna do with these 3 colors? Or, yeah, it just starts with I pick some colors, and then I don't ever have a game plan. It just happens.
Yeah, I thought about doing that for like a YouTube video, just doing like a random color picker challenge type thing, just seeing if you can make it look good together. That sounds interesting to me, but no.
We did a challenge together, me and Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he picked 3 colors. Was it like orange, turquoise, something else? And we both painted a bait. Yeah, when we both painted a bait like that, we should all 3 do that one day.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Well, it's orange and turquoise are complementary colors, right? Like they go together well. Right?
Yeah, it was very like saltwatery.
Yeah,
vibe.
Yeah, very, very Miami.
Yeah.
Miami baits. Yeah. Yeah, I always, I think I said it in my first YouTube video where I was making the big mud sunfish glide bait. Like, I'm what your mom is talking about whenever she says we have marlin baits at home. So when you're talking about like trying not to knock people off, I have to try really hard not to knock him off, especially since I have access to every single one of his templates because I bought that class. I try really hard not to make everything look like the stuff that he makes, which I can't make it as good as he does anyway, because he's been doing it for 15 years at this point.
Oh no, dude! I bet if you set them side by side, it'd be hard to tell the difference.
Now I try to gauge myself where I am in his timeline, and I'm like 6 years ago for where I'm sitting at now.
He does make some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
it's like how is that even a bait?
Yeah, and just like, the weird stuff that he comes with, the weird ideas he has, like putting a tuning fork inside of a crankbait. Like,
yes,
I would have never in a million years thought about doing that. It's like that's really cool. Yeah, so I think we're getting close to wrapping this up, guys. I think it's been a lot of fun so far. Hopefully everybody's having fun and liking it that's watching it or listening. But I just got a couple things to wrap up with. Right now, why don't you tell me what you're working on currently? Like, what's the next big thing from Lazy Baits or Peak Baits?
I'm working on a version 2 of the downsize, which I'm just perfecting the mold because I was having issues with it trapping air. And a 10-inch herring bait, which I thought, I'm like, this thing's perfect. In like a week, I'm like, it's just perfect. It's ready to go. And then I fished it, and I'm like, I just kept finding more stuff I didn't like. And it's so minor, but yeah, that's what's up for me. the next two baits I'm working on and planning on dropping.
Nice. What about you, Trev?
With
Can I call you
Anthony's
Trev?
help-
Is that okay? That's
Yeah, that's perfect. I prefer Trev.
Okay, cool. It's
With
easier to say.
Anthony's help, yeah. My Summit, making it a 3-piece. The
That'll be
2-piece
sick.
is great. Yeah. I modified a 2-piece, then got Anthony's help, so everything is going to be amazing, I'm sure. But that's
Yeah.
the next big thing on my plate of hopes.
The mold's almost made. I just got to get time to finish it.
No rush.
It's been made for like 3 days now.
Well, I will say that I haven't worked with Anthony on the Freek Bait Slim Thick glide bait. Like, couldn't have turned out better. I was really happy with how that worked out. So he's definitely good at that.
Yeah.
Carving's one thing,
Thank
but
you.
being able to do all the 3D modeling and make it look good, like that's another level. But I did try it, so I guess it's my turn. I did try, and right before we jumped on this
Came
call,
out good.
I think it turned out all right. I don't know. A lot of it was just I kept clicking buttons until it looked okay. Kind of like when I paint gills, I just jab it with a paintbrush until it looks good. It's the same thing with this in Fusion. But right before we jumped on this call, I posted a teaser for something that's going to drop tomorrow. So by the time this video comes out, it'll already be out. But that is my new Noggin Finesse bait. It's a little 2-piece vertical jigging bait, which is a lot of fun.
Which I fished as a lipless.
You can fish it as a lipless. Apparently, that was a complete accident. It has a lipless action. It also weighs a half an ounce, so you better fish it fast if you're going to do that. But
I had to.
Yeah, I made them heavy so you can get them down in the water. They're really meant for like forward-facing sonar type stuff because I know that's a huge thing right now. But yeah, just a little finesse bait. I've gone through. I think I went through 7 prototypes, and I tried hand carving them all at first, and then I tried like making my own molds, like just by like making a wooden master and then the whole clay thing and the silicone on top. That never really worked out, but I did catch fish off of them. But by working with Anthony and learning a little more about Fusion and 3D modeling, and I bought a 3D printer, I was able to make my own 3D printed molds for these, and they turned out pretty good. I'll send you some, Trev, so you have a set of them
right.
for yourself too. And other than that, I'm currently in the middle of filming the video for this godforsaken little twerp.
Wow, that is smaller than it looked in the pictures.
Yeah, it's ready for paint, which I'm going to do probably after we're done here. I don't know what possessed me to do this. I hate small things. I hate small baits. Like working on small things, I hate it. And this is the smallest. Like these are small, but I pour resin into a mold, and that's pretty much it. But having to carve this thing and make it look like a realistic bluegill, and I finally got to water test it last night, and it actually does swim. I was going for a glide, and it'll kind of glide, but it actually has a pretty good swim on a straight retrieve. So I was actually pleasantly surprised with it. But
I told you the proportions you had are good.
Yeah, and I made my first silicone tail. It's tiny, but that worked out. And that video will be out soonish, hopefully. Wrapping up this project, and I will never make anything this small again out of wood.
I was just going to ask you for a little minnow.
I'll teach you how to make one. Does that work?
There you go.
Does that work? Cool. All right, fellas, we're going to wrap up, and I haven't told either of you this, I don't think, but I want to do something, and we're going to try it this week, and say it's the question of the week. Now, if you're watching this and you want to submit a question of the week, leave it in the comments below. But I had to make it up for this one because we don't have anything out there. Couldn't ask anybody to submit a question of the week. So I want to know, in closing, what is your favorite lure of all time? It can be one of yours, or it can be a mass market one, whatever you want to throw out there.
Black and blue chatterbait.
Solid choice.
Go to.
A lipless crankbait.
Lipless crank, yeah. Also a solid choice. I will say that mine is a Texas rig ribbon tail worm, because I've caught 95% of the fish I've ever caught have been on the same color worm with the chartreuse tail and dark body on a Texas rig. it's my confidence bait. It's like I know if I throw that, I'm going to catch a fish. I may only catch one, but at least I'm not going to get skunked. I'll try everything else, and I've caught stuff on other baits. Don't get me wrong, I've caught stuff on my baits, but that Texas rig ribbon tail worm, man, the cheap ones from what is it, Exospawn, the bio ribbon, like they're like $2 a pack, but I've never caught more fish on anything else. So yeah, that's my favorite. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time out tonight to sit here and BS with me. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. I hope everybody watching had fun and they're able to hit that subscribe button and that like button and leave a comment down below what what topics you'd like to see us discuss. This is our first episode, so we just kind of wanted to introduce ourselves. But going forward, we plan on having some guests. We plan on talking about specific topics, spending some time on that. But yeah, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
That was pretty good. I think we did good.
I think that turned out well.